What's up, guys? Welcome to Done Trading. Today I'll be breaking down a recent trade that I took of British dollar. And for a short introduction, the technical analysis strategy that I use is smart money concept. This is very popular nowadays. That is the way I look at market, that is the way I explain the market, that is the way I take trades, sometimes profit, sometimes loss, right? Now this recent trade that I took was of British US dollar. The trade took place over here. Let me see the screenshot. Yeah, over here at 1.34 till 1.37. I think the RR was. Let me confirm again. I forgot the RR. Yeah, it's 1:2, right? So I trade 1:2 a lot. Now this 1:2 RR is on daily, by the way, so you guys know what does that mean, right? Now there are three time frames that I mainly look at. First one is weekly for my higher time frame. For my middle I look at 1 day, and for the lower time frames I look at 1 hour. Now these lower time frames I specifically use for sniper entries. I don't use lower time frame that much because I think 2 time frames are more than enough if you have a strong confident analysis that is going on. Now at weekly, the main basis of this trade comes from the weekly bias. The weekly bias over here, look at this. The weekly bias over here, the weekly bias I have comes from this particular place. So you can see a break of structure over here, right? Now in SMC, whenever there is break of structure, you will be looking at inducement, and this inducement I was looking at daily time frame. So if you guys look at it, there is no inducement over here. This is just another parallel channel or whatever you call it, liquidity at that place, and a perfect distribution. The inducement in reality is over here, and I'm not looking for a sweep on inducement, which is happening because there is no POIs left to tap in daily. But you guys have to remember, higher time frame is what I'm looking at. So at higher time frame we have this particular order block. Solid. Now if I want to, because there are no point of interest in daily, what I'm doing is taking this part right here, the untapped part, and I'm just putting it. Now at that untapped part I can see a perfect confluence. Now there are two confirmations that I've got from higher time frame. Inducement has been taken, came down to unmitigated wick of weekly, and a very nice reaction in daily as well. Now there is one thing else I need, and that is my lower time frame confirmation. But you can see the direction that is going from those two particular points as well. Now look at this. I'm not engaging at this point. These are nothing to me. The reason why these are nothing to me is because of one simple reason, and that is I'm looking at a very high time frame, and you can see the recent market structure shift right over here, and the market structure shift happened over here. Now if this is the market structure shift, right, if this is the market structure shift if this is the market structure shift, there are two things that I can do. One thing that I can do is wait at this point for it to tap, which may never get tapped because look at this candle, right? So Another thing I can do is wait for this to be broken, and that happens over here. So these are the things that confirm my trend direction. You see, I'm being patient over here. I'm not taking any trades over here. I'm just confirming that it is going on the direction that I want it to go for another week, so that I can confidently take that trade. Now look at this. Look at this. What a perfect confluence we have over here. And this happens exactly when the daily candle closes like this. So when the daily candle closes like this with high volume and everything, right, then I took this position. And that's why it has such a smooth, not as smooth as this one, but still a very smooth. The first day was kind of hectic, but then it became very smooth. Now the current scenario of the market is kind of pitiful because it has came to the same, and now one thing has happened is this PRI has got tapped. So the bias that I has been completed. So the bias is basically from this point of interest to this point of interest, which has happened. Now what I'm expecting is this to be broken, obviously, because I'm not going to take trade on the same place that I took before. Now what I'm expecting is the market to range for a while, right? But there's also some sort of conditions that I like. If these liquidity are taken out, right, if the price makes this sort of liquidity, comes to take this sort of liquidity, then I'm changing my strategy, of course. But unless that happens, I'm not changing anything, and I'm expecting for a downside move at the downside. The perfect buy position would be at these places, because you can see the liquidity that is over here. So I'm just completely avoiding these places. So that was it. That is what I'm anticipating next. Hopefully it goes my way. If it doesn't, it's fine. There are lots of opportunities in market, and always remember, patience is the key. Goodbye guys, see you in the next video.